Hello everybody and welcome back to A Royal Reader. My name is Cece and I have been gone for quite some time. I do apologise for taking an unexpected break. Unfortunately, university was a lot more tougher than I expected, so took a lot more out of me than I was prepared for, and I just needed to take a little bit of time off to recuperate and basically just do nothing for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, but I'm back now. So because of university taking up a lot more time than I was expecting, I did not plan a June TBR, nor did I film one. I essentially just continued reading on some of the books that I had on the May TBR, and then decided to just pick up A Court of Silver Flames and read that over the month. So I've only read about 2 books, I think. I will be doing a recent reads wrap-up video next, so do keep an eye out for that. We are going to be doing the Roll20 TBR for July, because that's the next month that happens after June. So if you are not familiar with this game, it is a TBR game that I created using a 20-sided dice. Each of the numbers have a corresponding prompt to it that will help me read books from my shelves, because I have lots on here that I have not read. Let's get going. Roll number 1. That is a 16. I just realized how much fluff I have all over my shirt, but that's okay. Alrighty, so the first number that was rolled was in fact a 16, which is a LGBTQ+ book. So I decided to pick up Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Niang. I do know that this is at least lesbian romantic. But there is also quite a few trigger warnings in this. There is, I don't want to say like sexual assault or anything like that, but there is that type of aspect to it, as there is essentially what the story is about. We follow a girl who has been selected to join the king's concubines as such, and she is attempting to sort of, I think, possibly take down the king. I'm not entirely too sure, but she also falls in love with another consort girl. So yes. Roll number 2. A natural 20. Woohoo! So the next roll got us a natural 20, which is super exciting. So a natural 20 means that I can pick whatever book I want. And the one that I decided to go for is a bit of a surprise, not gonna lie, but a video that I filmed a couple of weeks back that I still have not edited and uploaded yet, was a try chapter tag. And I tried the first chapter of this book and I really enjoyed it, so I decided to pick it up, and I have actually already started reading it. And that is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy. It is set in Cairo in the 18th century, sorry, and we follow a main character, Nari, who is a healer of sorts. She can sort of sense people's ailments and what like sicknesses they have, and she uses it and she uses that to her advantage to try and like con people out of money by sending them to her friend's apothecary, and they like charge them extra for all of the herbs and things like that. So one day she is performing some sort of ritual and somehow manages to summon a Jinn warrior. I don't know how. Yes, things go a little bit crazy after that, and she gets whisked away to the City of Brass, and she discovers that her life was not as normal as she always thought. So yes. Roll number 3. We have a 7. Then we had a number 7, which is a YA fantasy, so I decided to pick up quite a big one. I don't know how I'm going to do with all of these books, because all of them are quite chunky, and I do start university at the end of July, so there might be a couple of 24-hour reading challenges happening. But anyway, so the one that I decided to pick for the fantasy YA prompt is, oh, it's very shiny and reflective. A Song of Wraith and Ruins. No? A Song of Wraiths and Ruins. So this is by Roseanne A. Brown. This is a, is it African inspired? I think it's African inspired mythology, folklore, fantasy. We have two main characters. We have Karina, I think her name is Karina. Yeah, so we have our main character Karina, who is the princess. She has just lost her mother and believes that her mother was killed wrongfully, murdered, and so she is trying to find a way to bring her mother back, and in order to do so she needs the beating heart of a king. So then we have our second main character called Malik, yeah. So then we have our second main character, Malik. He is entering the city, and somehow his sister gets kidnapped by a genie or a jinn or an evil, a vengeful spirit, as payment to enter the city. And in order to get her sister, his sister, back, he has to kill the princess Karina. So in order to get close to her, he participates in the sort of this challenge festival thing or whatever, where the winner gets to have the princess's hand in marriage. So enemies to lovers trip, just saying. So yes, I am very excited to read this. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this, so yeah. Roll number 4. We have an 8. Next up, I rolled another 8. I rolled an 8 not last month, in May. So an 8 is a adult sci-fi book. I only really have one. I kind of classify the Mistborn trilogy as sci-fi, but it's also fantasy at the same time, so I'm stuck with the one book to read, which I didn't manage to get to during May. So I am back with Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I'm really sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. This has necromancers. It's also gay, lesbian necromancers in a solar system fighting stuff. That's pretty much all I know. So yes, also has a very shiny cover as well. Roll number 5. Oh, number 1. So that means that we have to add another roll. So we'll do number 5 again. Ooh, 13. And then I rolled a 13 again. So 13 is a YA sci-fi. So I don't really have too much that I haven't read anyway. A YA sci-fi that I wish I could read is the third and final book to the Aurora Cycle series, but that is unfortunately not out yet. So I decided to pick up Brandon Sanderson's Skyward. This is the first book in his YA sci-fi series. We follow our main character Spencer, who is attempting to get into some sort of pilot academy, I think. Her father was a deserter for the army when they were going into space and fighting the aliens, and so that has reflected badly on his entire family. So Spencer is finding a really hard time trying to get into this academy, and it's just not going great, but she really wants to get into the school. So yes, that's pretty much all I know about that. So yeah. Roll number 6. A 19. Next up we have a 19, which is the newest release, but the most recent release that I have is actually the Realmbreaker book by Victoria Aveyard. I am very excited to read this. I am currently buddy reading this with the ever so lovely Kimberly over at Flower Fields. I think that's her username. I'm not entirely sure. She makes awesome YouTube videos. Go and check her out. I love her to pieces. But we are both not doing a great job of reading this because life happens for the both of us. So yes, I have started this because we started it a little while ago. There is fluff everywhere. So I'm currently about 90 pages through this. So in this we have a wide cast of characters so far. There's about 5 main characters that are mentioned on the back. So far they have only introduced, I think, 2 of them in the first 90 pages. So yes, I don't really know too much about this so far, but... And then final roll, thanks to the natural 1, it's another 7. And last but not least was a 7, so that was a fantasy for a young adult. So I decided to continue my reread of the Throne of Glass series. So I am currently up to Heir of Fire. I am super excited to start this again. I think I only got through about 50 pages of this beforehand and then decided to read something else. So yes, if you don't know what the Throne of Glass series is about, you must be very, very new to the fantasy genre. So in the first book of this series, we follow our main character, Selena Sardorthian, who is a well-known assassin. And before the beginning of the book, she gets caught up in a bit of a situation that ends up getting her put into the salt mines as a form of punishment. And at the beginning of the first book, we have the crowned Prince Dorian and his captain of the guard, Kale, I almost said Cole, Kale, come to collect her and say that they have a proposition for her if she competes in this challenge competition thing against a whole bunch of other people, and if she wins, she can become the king's champion and she can be free of all of her debts and stuff. She agrees, and while she is there competing against everybody, a couple of them end up dead. And so she is struggling to discover what exactly is killing off the competitors and which one of them are trying to kill her as well. So yes, that's the first book. The second book goes in a bit of a different direction and sort of has a massive plot twist towards the end that throws it into a different genre. So I will leave it at that. But it is fantasy. There is magic involved. Stuff like that. So yeah. This stack is very big. I did not realize. These are all going to be upside down, but I don't care. See, that makes sense. You put the big one on the bottom and that helps make... Whew. So these are all books that I have planned to read for the month of July. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to them all, because as I said, I do start uni at the end of July, but hopefully some of these are quick reads. Let me know if I should prioritize some of these more than others. Which ones do you want to see reading vlogs for? I am planning on getting back to doing some reading vlogs, so that should be awesome. I do apologize for taking quite a bit of time off, but sometimes you just need to sleep for a week. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know what your thoughts were down in the comments below. If you have any video suggestions and video ideas that you'd like to see from me, then please do leave them down in the comments. I am searching for ideas constantly, so please, please, please put them down in the comments. If you would like to see more of me and to stay in touch, please check out the Instagram that I have linked down below, as well as like Twitter and stuff like that, so do go ahead and check those out. If you enjoyed, then don't forget to subscribe. That's always a good thing to do. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video soon.